Yo, welcome to the Gauss guide, the fast frame, the sonic frame. You want to go fast? This is the frame for you. Um, he's really good. He doesn't have a lot of build requirements. The hardest thing about him is probably acquiring him through disruption. But he's an excellent frame. I'd say probably one of the top 10 in the game, maybe even top 5, because of how simple he is to acquire and how simple he is to build and his playstyle. So I'll just get right into the build and his abilities. Alright, so for Gauss, his first ability is his Mach Rush. It's a big old dash and it helps build his passive. The higher passive you get, the less damage you will take when using your kinetic plating. That's what your passive scales for. Your kinetic plating, your 2, it buffs your shields and it gives you damage mitigation, which is always excellent. So he's super tanky, super fast, and he can help you do lots of damage. He doesn't do lots of damage himself, but he buffs your weapons amazingly. In the third slot would normally be Thermal Sunder. He slaps his hands together and either creates a giant cold zone or a giant heat zone. It's actually a good ability, but I prefer having Firewalker on just for more movement speed. You can totally keep Thermal Sunder on. He does not need any helmet abilities at all. He got a newest augment about a patch ago that actually gives his Thermal Sunder a lot of utility. It either buffs your cold damage or buffs your heat damage based on which one you do. So it is a really good augment if you want to run that. And then his ult, Redline, it makes him even quicker and lets his passive go past its cap. So that's how you can reach 100% damage reduction through his passive and having Redline active. So that's Gauss. You can dash, become tanky, spread heat procs or cold procs if you have Thermal Sunder on, and then go even faster. Simple as that. So let's go into my build for him. So what you want on Gauss is a lot of duration and a decent amount of strength, which is what I have going on here exactly. You want your tankiness and your speed buff to be up as long as possible, because that's what keeps you alive. Going fast and having your tankiness buffed from your passive with Redline active. So that's what I got going on here. And then adaptation plus the damage mitigation going on here. Great addition for survivability. Sprint boost. One thing I will say with Gauss, your first ability, your Mach Rush, and the speed of it actually stacks with your Sprint Boost. So that's why I have Sprint Boost on, for building your passive faster and dashing around. But yeah, other than that, just build for duration and strength. You don't even really need efficiency on here like I have, because you won't be really running into much energy deficiencies here with Gauss. So yeah, very simple to build for. You don't even need Umbral Intensify here. If you have Normal Intensify, that'll be just fine. Normal Continuity, just fine. But since he has the mod capacity with the 2 extra slots like this, why not? Arcane Aegis, because he's tanking with his shield, so if you do get an Aegis proc, you're regenning shield back. It works great. And then Gladiator Resolve here for more health. This is honestly just a flex slot. You could put anything here. If you want to put natural talent here to cast faster for some reason, if you want to put normal flow here, if you want stretch here for more range, that's perfect, you know. If anything, he has another, if you want to put the augment here, the Thermal Sunder augment to buff your heat damage and cold damage, that works perfectly fine. Another thing you could do, you could put stretch here, and then I would take off Augur Secrets. And he actually has another augment for his first ability, that when you run into a wall, you create a vortex. So you probably want positive range for that vortex. So you could do that and build for that. But I just have extra health on here in case I get Toxin procced or something. I normally do use them on the Steel Path, so those Toxin procs can be a bit of a hassle sometimes. So that's why I have extra health here. But realistically, this could be any mod you want. And then I have my 2 Arcanes here. So that's the build. I am going to be showcasing him on a Steel Path mission. If you don't play the Steel Path, you do, you run relics, you do arbitrations, you run normal star chart stuff. You can use whatever you want loadout wise. I would recommend explosive weapons because in his fourth ability, Redline, you are immune to knockups and knockbacks. So like things like the Brahma, the Tsar, the Ogress, you can shoot them at your feet without prime sure-footed, and you won't be affected by explosions. So I would recommend making the most of that and using an explosive weapon. If explosive weapons aren't your thing and you don't want to use them, use whatever. But I do like the Brahma on him. But I do melee 90% of the time though. So if we look at my Brahma build, I have primary dexterity on here. So as I'm meleeing, I'm getting more damage for my primary. I use a corrosive hunter munitions build to kill the acolyte when he spawns. The same build could go for a Tsar. An Ogress, not so much. Maybe something like the Trumna, and its alt fire is really good. I say it in all my videos, but for Steel Path stuff, if you are going to be running Steel Path like I do in these videos, always bring a weapon that you know can kill the acolyte. Whether it's a catch moon secondary, the Spore Lacer kick gun is also good with the besides the catch moon for killing the acolyte. Glaive builds with heavy attack builds are good for killing the acolyte. Anything like that, you should be bringing something to kill the acolyte if your Warframe's not killing it with abilities. But that's what I run on my Brahma. And I'm sure you've already saw the new core. You know exactly what this is here is for. It's to viral proc the enemy and heat proc them and rad proc them for our condition overload melee. Other uses here, you could use a Cycron here, the Tenet Cycron from Sisters of Parvos. That is good for proccing enemies with status. You could also use Epitaph here. I know a lot of people like the Epitaph for proccing nowadays because it has the cold proc on it and it can help slow enemies. This is completely personal preference. But this is what I have for my proccing build. Magazine size, Seeker, so it chains to more people. Fire rate, you don't really need damage. You just want to proc your stuff. So multi-shot, that's all that's really going on here. Just my statuses that I need and a bunch of multi-shot. And secondary dexterity, because I will be meleeing and I'm going to supercharge it with my melee by getting melee kills. And then my Vacor Sidon. So I have a Riven for the Sidon. It's a pretty good one. It's my main melee if I'm going to do higher tier stuff. Just bring your best melee when you're using Gauss. Or if you're not going to melee at all. I prefer to melee them. I could just do the Brahma the entire time and I'd be perfectly fine, but I prefer meleeing on him and making use of his speed from his abilities. But this is my Sidon build. If you want to look at it, like I said, bring your best melee, whatever that may be. Whether it's a Graham Prime, a Cronin Prime, maybe an Amphis. Maybe you have an insane Amphis Riven. If you like the Fragger Prime. And whatever your best melee is, favorite melee is, just bring that on Gauss. Pretty simple build. Hybrid build for crit and status. Nothing crazy going on here. Here's my Riven. Crit chance, crit damage, cold damage for vital procs. You know, it's a decent Riven. I'm pretty happy with it. So that's this build though. But like I said, bring any melee you want, your best one, whatever you got. If you're doing normal star chart stuff, you know, you're slamming relics, you're doing missions with a friend, you're doing a quest, you don't really need a super crazy loadout. Just make sure it's, you know, well-rounded, you have everything you need. But that's that for my loadout, and I'll look at the Gauss build one more time. And bam, thank you, ma'am. That's the Gauss build. This should actually be Naramon, believe it or not. If you know that this makes your combo counter basically last forever. And I'm going to be meleeing a lot, so let me actually put that on there. This cat, you know it, you love it. It's probably in all your missions. Everyone's using it. The Panzerwolf. If it dies, it revives itself. What's not to love? Because pets suck. They're always dying. You're always reviving them. Run the cat that keeps itself alive. This is not a paid advertisement, but I recommend getting a Panzer from Dymos. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get right into our mission here. If you don't want to watch the gameplay, thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. If you love it, did you hate it, let me know in the comments. What Warframe should I do next? Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, get out of here, whatever. But I'm gonna go do this Steel Path mission, kill an Acolyte, and then actually end the video. So, Ani, survival, let's get in here. The new update came out today. I guess the augment bonuses and the Garuda buffs. I was going to look at the augment and make a video, maybe using one of the new augments. The Ash one looks really nice. And I just made an Inaros video too. And right after I make that video, they buff his sand clone augment so you can have 100% chance to make sand clones on finishers. And now I want to make a build where I build like a clone army, but I just made my Inaros video, and that would have been a lot cooler than just doing Profit Taker with Inaros like I normally do. But it is what it is, maybe for another day. So as you can see, as I'm running around, my passive is building. Let me activate my kinetic plating, my tanky ability, build up combo here, activate Firewalker for more speed. You also get combo for, not combo, passive meter for dashing into enemies. And you can see it's capped out right now, and if I pop my red line, I can go past the cap and go further beyond. But as you can see, they're not really putting up much of a threat right now. I'm just a walking blender. Absolutely just like a hot knife through butter. And there is a faction after me already. Oh, it's the Stalker. Fun. He might kill me. Stalker on Steel Path is never fun. His scaling's insane.
Life support incoming.
Alright, Stalker has spawned. Where is he at? Stalker, where are you?
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it.
Hello, Stalker. You're right in front of my face. I got him. Nice. Alright, let's, Broken War Blueprint. Oh my gosh. I definitely don't have that. I do have all the Stalker weapons. But, always nice to get a Stalker kill. And you can see the Brahma doing its job there as well. But this is Gauss. As long as you keep your abilities up, they have super long timers. Your 2 and your 4th ability are your most important for your survivability here and damage. And then your 1 to build your passive every now and then. You'll be fine. Hopefully I get the Acolyte to spawn soon. I'm not filling up too much dead here. Oh yeah, the AoE weapons, explosive weapons, and your ult. I don't have Prime Sure-Footed on, and I just shot at my feet like that. Normally, you'd eat dirt and get knocked up and knocked to the ground, so... That's also why Gauss is great, because his ult's a free Prime Sure-Footed. Recast Firewalker, and blaze through these guys. Activate my kinetic plating, reactivate redline, and I'm cutting through. Pretty simple gameplay here, to be honest. It's Gauss. It's kind of like a better Valkyrie, to be honest. You know, Valkyrie's tanky, and she's meleeing. But to be tanky in melee, you have to really use her ult. or really build for her Eternal War, her Warcry ability. But Gauss, you have a super long timer, and you just press 2 buttons, and you can melee and go insane. Valkyrie is definitely a melee frame that has fallen off the face of the planet over the years. I think Sevagoth's, like, Shadow from his ult is a better melee type character than Valkyrie, now that I think about it. Ooh. Where is the Acolyte? At Brahma, that Acolyte, not Acolyte, Heavy Gunner there. Normally I would just use my Kuba Nucor and proc him up, then kill him, but oh, my kinetic plating's down, and my red line's down. I'm not really getting a lot of life support drops here on this mission. Normally I don't have issues, to be honest. I stay around a good 60-70 with Gauss, no matter what. Heavy unit, proc him up, and he's gone. I guess I need to hit life support. Boom, 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 boom. I'm at 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Surely the Acolyte should spawn soon, right? Oh, does the Stalker take up an Acolyte slot? I bet. Well, you know what? If I can kill the Stalker, you can probably realize that I can kill an Acolyte just as fast, so I'm getting out of here. I'm not gonna sit here for 20 minutes waiting for another Acolyte Stalker to spawn. If I can get up here. There we go. But thanks for watching. That's Gauss in all the glory. Very simple frame. As long as you build for duration and a little bit of strength, you'll be cooking. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please do give it an actual like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what frame to review next, what frame not to review next, maybe there's one you never want to see. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.